Welcome back to the Thrifty Food Plan channel, friends, where you can find frugal food budgets, grocery hauls, meal plans, all using the USDA Thrifty Food Plan, which is the basis of EBT SNAP food stamp benefits. Today, I'm going to show you a recipe I made using things that I already had on hand, plus a $1.50 can of pumpkin puree that was on sale at my grocery store. If you like what you see here, please do hit that like button and subscribe. So let's get into it. All right, so we are going to make some pumpkin muffins. I know that is backwards, but we're going to make some pumpkin muffins that we are going to use we can use it for breakfast, we can use it for dessert, we can use it for snacks. We're going to start with 1 can of pumpkin puree. Now this is not pumpkin pie mix, it is actually pumpkin puree. So make sure you got the right thing. This actually inspired this whole recipe because this was on sale at my Kroger equivalent this week. All of it out of, as much of it out of the can as I can. It's a 15-ounce can, so it's one of the smaller cans, not one of the bigger cans. Okay, and to that pumpkin puree, we are going to add 1/3 cup of applesauce. Now, I didn't have any applesauce, so I basically made some using an apple and some water on the stovetop. And I'm going to measure it out. I need 1/3 cup. All right, that looks about right. So that was like 1 apple. Get about 1/3 cup of applesauce. I'm using this instead of oil. Then I'm going to add, let's see, it says 1 1/4 cup of brown sugar, that's way too much. I'm not going to do that, and I don't have brown sugar, but I do have maple syrup. So I'm going to add about, let's see, 1/4 cup. Actually, let's just use all of what I have left. So yeah, this is a little bit more than 1/4 cup, almost 1/3 cup, not exactly. But I've got maple syrup, but I don't have brown sugar. Also don't want to use that much sugar. And then I need to add soy milk. So let's do 1/2 cup of soy milk. This is just unsweetened plain soy milk. All right, and that is all of our wet ingredients. I'm gonna mix these up really well. I just spilled a little bit. Party foul. So let's mix it up really, really well. You can use a whisk if that's easier for you. I just not gonna get a whisk out because then I have to clean it, and I find whisks are kind of hard to clean, so I'm just gonna hand stir this. Got the oven preheating to 375, just FYI. All right, now let's do dry ingredients. So dry ingredients, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Now I always just keep this in my pantry. 1 cup all-purpose flour. And then for a little extra nutrition, I'm going to use 3/4 cup whole wheat, but you can use all regular flour if you want to. It's not what I am choosing to do here. All right. Let me get another fork. Hold on. All right. Just going to mix my flour up a little bit. And then I need a tablespoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. Then I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of salt. If you have pumpkin pie spice, you can kind of sub out, but I don't have it, so I'm going to do 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. I don't have cloves or nutmeg, so substituting. And then I've got some ginger here. So I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of ginger. I'm going to mix this all together. Mix it as well as I can. All right, and then I'm going to fold in my wet ingredients. Mix those up really well. And once it's all mixed in, I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar-free chocolate chips because I had them in the pantry. But you also could use, like, instead of doing that, you could use nuts, you could use other things, like just whatever you have on hand. Whatever you have on hand. All right, this is feeling a little dry, so I'm going to add in a little extra milk because that's what I have. All right, so I'm just going to get this all mixed up, and then I'm going to prepare my muffin tins. I am going to use some grease on them so that they don't stick, and put in some of those chocolate chips, and then we will cook them for 20 to 25 minutes on 375, and I'll come back and show you what they taste like. All right, so I've got a little bit of milk and I've got one of my muffins. Let's see how they turned out. Looking pretty good. Let's see how they taste. Okay. So the ginger flavor comes through really strong. So if you don't like ginger, omit it, would be my advice. Definitely needs the sweetener or faux sweetener from the sugar-free chocolate chips. If I had more maple syrup, probably should have used a little bit more. And I'm going to be really happy having this for snack and dessert this week. That's pretty damn good. Okay, so this is a recipe I made using what I had on hand. And if you were trying, and I put the full recipe in the description box below. And if you were trying to make it going out to the grocery store, this is an estimate of what it would cost you to make this recipe. So flour, whole wheat flour, baking powder, cinnamon, pumpkin puree, maple syrup, ground ginger, a Granny Smith apple because I made my applesauce from scratch, plant milk, and then sugar-free chocolate chips. Based on all the costs currently at my Kroger equivalent grocery store, this recipe would cost about $4.71 to make total, or 39 cents a muffin. Just did a bunch of math here. That's all that means. So would really love to hear from y'all the kinds of recipes that you make using what you have on hand. Because really, this recipe cost me $1.50 because The only thing that I had to buy to make it was the pumpkin puree. So I'd love to hear from you some of the recipes you make when you're trying to make things out of your pantry, fridge, and freezer. So please do leave some of your comments below. And please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you back here on Thursday.